Deborah Johnson. She's here with us also. On behalf of my the Black Panther Party Club, we're going to continue condolences to Pastor Johnson. Also to the legacy of the young lords. Cha-Cha, who I have the utmost respect for. I'm honored to be here. I'm the son of Chairman Freddie Hampton and also of Recorder Jerry, and I say I feel fortunate to have fallen from the tree of two freedom fighters. My birth certificate was almost my death certificate in response to what we refer to as the massacre on my road, the day in which we defined as one of the most brutal acts of terrorism that occurred on U.S. soil. December 4th was one of our September 11 stories, the day in which the U.S. government assassinated 21-year-old Chairman Fred and 22-year-old Defense Captain Mark Clark. We don't see that in some subjective sense. In fact, you have never heard me say the police killed my daddy. You have heard me acknowledge it in a political context. The U.S. government assassinated Chairman Fred. They assassinated Defense Captain Mark Clark. We must struggle to use brutal terms for brutal realities, as opposed to referring to as correctional centers, calling for what they are concentration camps. As opposed to referring to someone just got locked up, they were kidnapped. As opposed to saying there's a bond, there's a ransom. As opposed to euthanizing it, referring to the gentrification. The deal is it is a land grab. Because the housing that the government has planned for our people is the penitentiaries and the graveyards. And we don't fight back, we don't organize, it could be nothing less than what Minister U.E.P. Newton referred to as reactionary suicide. The blatant contradiction, the fact that this now is a Walgreens, the blatant contradiction that 2350 West Madison, the Black Panther Party headquarters at Illinois chapters is Walgreens now. These are blatant statements from the system, blatant statements. This era of time, it would say it's terrible but it's fine, similar to the era of former U.S. President Richard Milhouse Nixon, where the class piece was being destroyed, where now you have the Trump, where the conflicts are being heightened. These are reactionary times. There are revolutionary organizations out there. We have to get organized. My comrade mentioned earlier, a lot of people say, when we go, we can change the system. It's the people. We understand, we relate what the Sandinistas said in Latin America. The will of the people is greater than the man's technology. The will of the people is greater than the man's technology. Again, we know we're going against all odds, y'all. We have to organize, we have to stay consistent. We have to be not only servants of the people, but servants of history. In other words, not just take a reactionary stance. Now people think this is something bad that's just not happening. Correlate this here. COINTELPRO, counterintelligence, it has been going down on us, y'all. Again, it's still happening. It is still happening. The war is still continuous and the resistance will still continue. Right on? Yeah. Right on? Again, we are honored and humbled to be here. That's the conversation on the way here. Though the U.S. government physically in a graphic way took Chairman Fred, took my father from me, I'm still learning about him. You'll say through comrades, you'll say the different, for lack of better terms, the war stories. Comrades who were locked up in the paddy wagon with the jail with, who I'm honored to meet. And I'm honored and I appreciate the continued stand coming out here. I appreciate to be called out here to speak. Again, on behalf of the Black Panther Party Cubs, salute y'all along the next young lords. We officially invite y'all also December the 4th, which is going to be 50 years after the assassination of Chairman Fred Defense Captain Mark Clark. We're going to be right there in front of that house at 12 o'clock, 2337 West. We call Chairman Fred Hathaway. Again, in the spirit of solidarity, y'all. Revolution, us, la solution. Revolution is the only solution. Power to the people.
Yeah. Power to the people.
Next up is Margarita Hernandez from Michigan.
I'm the president of the Puerto Rican Cultural Committee for Grand Rapids, Michigan, here today to support you.
A little closer to
I was in high school when this happened, and I remember watching this whole thing come down with the young lords. So I was very impressed, and here I am today. I can't believe it. I'm here participating in something that I watched on TV as a young teenager. So, forward to the people. Que viva Puerto Rico.
Next up is another activist from 1969, Paul Siegel of the Intercommunal Survival Front.
All right. Hold it right up to your mouth, man.
The Intercommunal Survival Committee, just so you know what it was an organizing bureau functioning under the direct direction of the Black Panther Party in the oppressed white community, especially in Uptown. And also the Black Lung Association, which I worked with for years, was disabled and displaced coal miners who migrated to Chicago. I want to just give a quick shout out to my brother Modesto Rivera and Mark Kaplan and all the brothers and sisters from Northside Action for Justice, which is carrying on the fight in Uptown. Thank you for being here, for coming on this month. When I think of Reverend Johnson, a picture forms in my mind of a very different Lincoln Park, especially the People's Park over there, and the church here, and the murals of the revolutionary heroes and martyrs, how that must have stuck in the craw of the political power structure and the real estate interests that were hungrily eyeing Lincoln Park. And when those forces get a kind of indigestion because of what we do, they don't deal with it well. They don't deal with it lightly. You could get killed for it, which is what happened to Reverend Johnson. So when I think of Reverend Johnson, now I think of how all that's gone now. So we got to pass that on to our children and grandchildren, because who gets to decide what's worthy of historical preservation and what isn't? And Cha-Cha beautifully talked about that this morning, and we're fighting that in Uptown all the time. So our memories are important, that we pass them on. And they're not just of something of aesthetic beauty. They're of a moment in history when the energy and creative genius of young Puerto Ricans who survive today and are teaching us still mobilize and organize the community with an infrastructure for survival, for community survival, breakfast programs, free health clinics, liberation schools, and the like. A moment in history when people could get a glimpse and be inspired by that glimpse of what a better world would look like. But here's the truth that I just want to leave you with that I think has to be grasped. Those precious moments, those beautiful things that are in our pictures, in our mind, don't come easily. And people get killed in order to create them and in order to nurture them. And that's what happened to Reverend Johnson, who's a fallen soldier. It seems to me he was just a decent human being who happened to be in a certain place at a certain moment and was faced with a choice whether to just go with what the middle-class congregation knee-jerk thought, or whether he wanted to open up his church and make it a headquarters for the young lords that would become part of people's history. And he made the right choice, and he died for it. And those of us that survived were left to sort it out, including, I think, if we're honest, some survivors' guilt that we have to live with for all the brothers and sisters that fell and somehow we live. I guess I just want to close then by saying that this goes on today. People have already, a new generation, many people have already made the same choices and have already fallen. Witness Charlottesville, North Carolina. So power to the people, and let's carry on the fight.
Yeah.
Next up, activist with the Palestinian cause.
Thank you all. It's an honor to be here. It was an honor to be here last year for the Young Lords' 50th anniversary. It's an honor to be here for the Young Lords' 51st anniversary. And it's also an honor to be here to memorialize all these incredible fighters for social justice. The reason why Eugenia and the pastor and Jose Lind and Manuel Ramos and Mark Clark and Fred Hampton were assassinated is because they were doing effective, impactful work in the community. They were organizing for their people. They were organizing for all the people. All the people in the city of Chicago, all the people in the United States, and not just that, all the people who are oppressed across the world because of U.S. policies and U.S. imperialism. That's why we in the Palestinian and Arab community in Chicago will always be here with you, Chacha, and with you, Fred Jr., and with all of the sisters and brothers who are part of this internationalist struggle for justice in the neighborhoods of Chicago and in the refugee camps, Palestinian refugee camps in Lebanon, and in the struggle for Palestinian rights and independence is part and parcel of the struggle for freedom and independence for our oppressed communities here. Amen. We all are working together against this enemy, and the resistance in Palestine is a blow against U.S. empire, and it supports the oppressed and working people here. And the struggle of oppressed and working people here in the United States is supporting the fight for Palestinian liberation against Israeli apartheid and against U.S. imperialism. That's why we're all here today. That's why we celebrate these martyrs, and they are martyrs. Don't ever let anybody tell you differently. They will never, ever be able to tell us that these are not our martyrs. They are all our martyrs, and I can't wait for later in the year with Chairman Fred and all the other Black Panthers who are going to be commemorating the 50 years of the assassination of Mark Clark and Fred Hampton. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak here.
All right.
Oki from the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression.
All right.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
All right.
So, one of the original demands of the Black Panther Party was community control of the police, right? Now, when you look at the police and how they interact with Black and brown communities in America, they're terrorists. They terrorize us. They are the cutting edge of mass incarceration. So when we talk about the fact that America has 4% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prison population, you can't talk about that without talking about the fact that these police are in our communities with no control. We have no oversight over how they interact with us. We have no way of getting back at them when they kill young people in the streets, when they take parents away from their children by putting them in prison. So what we are doing is refounding the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. This is a 46-year-old organization that was started during the campaign to free Angela Davis and all political prisoners. So I have a bunch of flyers, so if anyone wants flyers, this event is happening in November from the 22nd to the 24th. I have a bunch of flyers, if anyone wants, talk to me.
All right.
Next up is Eugenia Jerry. She is the mother of Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and she was in the house, in the apartment when Chairman Fred Hampton was assassinated by CPD and the FBI. It's an honor to have her here.
All right.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. Well said.
You know, Chairman Fred used to talk about people that couldn't chew gum and walk across the street at the same time. I can do three things. I can stand here, hold this cane, and this spot. It's an honor and a privilege to be here celebrating with my comrades, Cha-Cha Menace, the Young Lords Organization, and all of you that are here today. This is the 50th-year anniversary of the assassination of Chairman Fred and Defense Captain Mark Clark. Now, I'm kind of picky. I insist on the title Chairman Fred. I insist on the title Defense Captain Mark Clark. It's back there during that period, we respected titles of people, and we gave honor and tribute to those who were in the struggle, not just for some photo ops for themselves, but in the interest of you, me, and everybody out here. Before a lot of y'all got here, because I see it's a number of young people here today. It's important to give them the same honor, if not more, that Chairman Fred Jr. says all the time. We say Dr. Pookie Dookie or Reverend such and such. When it comes to people that put their lives on the line for us, me, you, and everybody here, and people that are not here, so that we can have this thing that we keep fighting for. It's called self-determination, control over our own lives. Not somebody speaking for us in their interests, but us speaking for us in our own interests. And Chairman Fred was a powerful, internationally known revolutionary leader. He met Cha-Cha when they was in the slammer. Y'all say prison, some say concentration camps. He politicized them. And they didn't, Chairman Fred wasn't on a recruitment drive to get everybody to join the Black Panther Party. He created this thing called a Rainbow Coalition. A lot of times these people met only at the rallies, but there were certain points of unity that could be drawn. Every community should organize in their community for a free breakfast program. So this government that was oppressing them would not be omnipotent and be able to decide if children eat or not. Everybody knew they couldn't learn on an empty stomach. They didn't commission a study. They began organizing breakfast programs. This disease called sickle cell anemia. Black people were dying in record numbers. They wasn't even studying it in medical school. You didn't have to know about that to become a doctor. The Black Panther Party put it on the front burner. It said, since black people are dying from this disease, we're going to go door to door in the community. We're going to organize. We're going to bring attention to this so that people can get free medical care. Free medical centers were organized in cities and all over this country. And this thing called police brutality that the Black Panther Party cubs have correctly named as police terrorism. Police terrorism. It made it clear that Officer Friendly ain't your friend. He's not getting cats out of trees in our communities. He's beating us and shooting us down just like he was doing back in the 60s. And as soon as we come to that realization that we can't educate them, that we can't win them, they represent a government that's from its inception has enslaved, imprisoned, incarcerated us and murdered us on the street. I am again very honored to be here, to be able to speak. I can't walk that good, but I had to come up here and say something. And it really warms my heart to see all of you here. And you might go home and say, it wasn't that many people. But wait till these few people get on the phone and get to telling their friends what they did.
That's right.
And I got a great memory. I don't remember names here, but I remember faces. And I hope to see all of y'all. We've launched the 5 days to the 50th campaign. The 50th anniversary, December 4th, of the assassination of Chairman Fred, the Defense Captain Mark Clark. There'll be a number of events. I know y'all do Facebook. I got a Facebook, but I don't really do it because I don't really, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely don't do Instagram. The best I can do is email. You hear what I'm saying? So, and I think that's a major leap, but y'all keep up with this. I want to see all of y'all there. And you know what? I will run into you again, and if I don't see you there on December 4th, the 5th, the leading up to it, I won't say, didn't you say you was going to be there?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't remember names, but I never forget a face. And see how I'm going like this?
Yeah.
I'm checking y'all out.
Yeah.
And don't think you won't bump into me again. I get rides around the city. I can't walk there, but I get rides. And I hope to see all y'all there. And don't keep it your own little personal secret. Don't keep it your little personal secret. Yeah, I was over there with Cha-Cha and them. You know, it was a real nice thing. Too bad you didn't go. Make it good for them to go. Bring them. Tell them to get on the bus with you. Tell them they can ride with you. And this is what I want y'all to do. Next time it's a call out, bring at least 5 people with you. And then call them back and say, Dude, you know, I was looking for you and you wasn't there and you really missed out. Get some accountability up here, okay? Like I said, I remember every detail of December 4th. You think I don't remember y'all face? I'm gonna be looking for you. And I ain't just an old lady up here talking shit. I am honored in this period to be a member of the advisory board on the Black Panther Party Cubs, chaired by Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. I ain't saying it because it's my son. I ain't saying it because it's Chairman Fred Hampton's senior son. I'm saying they out here doing the work. They're the only organization carrying and defending the legacy of the Black Panther Party out even to this day in history. As Chairman Fred Sr. built the Rainbow Coalition, young lords, young patriots. They want to get everybody to join the Black Panther Party, but to get control over their own communities with the Latin kids, with the Black Stone Rangers, Black disciples, all these groups to recognize it was one common enemy. The pigs that function as an occupying army in our community. 5-0, Popo. What y'all call them now, young people? All kind of names for them, but the bottom line, you know what we're talking about, right? All right. You know what we're talking about. So once we recognize that it's a war being waged, that's been not declared, they ain't say we at war. They just show you every day. I don't care if you go to the grocery store and you need to buy a loaf of bread. It's 2 weeks older than if you go to the white community to buy that same loaf of bread. You go for medical care. Chairman Fred used to talk about you going there for a cold and they done took all your organs out. This is the center of organ sales in the U.S. Chicago. Yeah. But I ain't telling y'all nothing y'all didn't know. I'm just an old lady up here rambling. But keep this in mind. Go sleep tonight. Remember, I'm going to be looking for you this Sunday. Power to the people. 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 See, we take us a minute to get together.
So for the final remarks, we're going to have the founder of the Young Lords Political Organization, Chacha Jimenez.
I think this verse is working. Okay.
Hold it close.
So I'm not going to take
Hold it close.
more of your time. There's a few people here that didn't say anything like that. Edwin Nieves, who I haven't seen in a while.
Can't hear you.
He's a young lord. Salute. The next person that I was going to mention was Tom Burke. Now, Tom worked on this demonstration, and what do you think? He did a good job, right? Yeah. And another one that helped him was the field marshal David McGregor.
Right on.
We were housed by Pat Devine. We all stayed there. Some of us came from out of town. There's some people right behind me. Some young Lord's Carmen. San Lucas Church. Dean Romero. So I don't know what else to say. Everyone here, the diehards, they came. I don't know how you guys marched that long distance. But I wish I could. I just couldn't do it. I just got in this thing a couple months ago. Maybe in a few more months I can do it. But when we came, we still came. We saw you guys. You guys were live streaming on the Fred Hampton show. That was good. So that's all I'm going to say. Power to the people.
I do. Thank you. Police chapter signs up here on the ground.
Hey, Gerard, it started work.